Hello people of YouTube and welcome back to another Narnia Life installment. So this is a kind of follow-up to one of my last videos where I was talking about the 1967 adaptation. So there's been, I won't really say news, but I've found out a lot of new stuff about it, so I want to just kind of update you guys as to what's going on with it. I do find it really cool we're getting news about the upcoming Magician's Nephew adaptation, which is currently filming, but then we're also getting news about the very first adaptation that was made like 50-60 years ago. It's kind of cool in a way. But yeah, this video I'm going to be talking about the 1967 version. So for those of you that are unaware, the first ever adaptation of Narnia was a 10-part series, so 10 episodes, and it was shown it was released in 1967. It was shown on ITV, produced by ABC Television, over the course of 10 weeks. So they had an episode per week. I believe it fell on TV, was shown between when Doctor Who was on, so season 4 and 5. When they had that break in between the seasons, the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe kind of was in that little gap. So today's standards, we know that only out of these 10 episodes, only episode 1 and episode 8 exist. So we know that them two exist, basically like many other shows of the 60s, 70s, 50s, you know, like there's a lot of lost media, and it's because companies just didn't have the money, they didn't have the resources to store it, you know, and obviously home media wasn't a big thing. You know, VHS, DVD didn't exist, so they didn't see the point of keeping hold of it. Obviously, no one anticipated how big home media was going to become. But yeah, they didn't keep hold of it. You know, it would have meant storing it somewhere, so they would have run out of storage if they stored everything. You know, and obviously money as well. So they tended to like reuse film reels. So basically, whatever was on that film reel was erased, and then they used it for something else. And obviously, that was done with this. It was done with Doctor Who, Top of the Pops. You know, there's a ton of lost shows and lost films out like that are known to exist. But like I said, the companies just didn't have the money, the time, or the resources to store them. So in today's day and age, so we do have episode 1 and episode 8, both of which are the full episode as it was originally broadcast. So it showed a little tiny recap at the start of the episodes, the title card, the actual episode itself, and a little tease building up to the following week's episode. So I do want to do a shout out to a YouTuber called Scribbles on Screen, I believe they're called, and they did a video about this adaptation. This is how I found out a lot of the information, and I'm truly grateful because I didn't know that the 2 surviving episodes are available on home media, which I didn't know. I also found out as well that there is off-air recordings of the audio of episode 7, although this audio hasn't been released publicly. So what it is presumably in the company's archives. So we know we have off-air audio for episode 7. We have episode 1 and 8 fully exist in their entirety. And then we have a lot of still and production images. I'm going to show you some more as well because there is some more colorized images. Again, thank you to Scribbles on Screen for showing them. There is a lot of still production photos, but there has been some that have been colorized in recent years. So I'm just going to show the colorized ones and talk about them, which I did. I showed 2 that I found on Facebook, and then a few more I've found now. So this is kind of like a little bit of a follow-up. But yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously I watched Scribble to Screen's video, and this was the first time that I've seen footage of episode 1. So obviously when Lucy meets Mr. Thomas. Now, you know, but so the main story is back in 2010, 2011, episode 8 was uploaded onto YouTube, but it was a very bad quality. It was very clearly, must have been ripped off of VHS somehow. So you could tell it was very dimmed with quality. So the 2 episodes that survived, they have been released on home media. So basically, to view them on home media, you need to buy 2 DVDs called ABC Nights In. Now, basically, they're like a compilation of shows that ABC and ITV did back in the 50s, 60s. And on these 2 DVDs, episode 1 is on one of them, and then episode 8 is on the other one. So if you... I'm going to... I did post a link to Scribble on Screen's video if you want to go check his video out. So the full title of the DVDs are on there. If you buy... They are a little bit pricey, but I believe Amazon is your cheapest for them. I've looked on Amazon, I've looked on eBay. Amazon, you're talking roughly between £10 to £15, roughly that on eBay as well, but Amazon is a little bit cheaper. So if you're wanting to buy them, Amazon or eBay is your best shot at buying them. But yeah, I'm so happy that they're available on home media. I never knew that they were on home media. If you've seen my review from a long while ago, you know that the version that was put onto YouTube, I basically put onto a disc and I made my own little DVD cover for it, so I had it in the collection. But now that I know that it's on home media and you can view it in crystal clear, like it's still black and white, but it's crystal clear, the footage, how it was originally broadcast, I am now planning to get these 2 compilation DVDs. So I don't know when I'm going to get them. It just depends when I have the time and money to try and get them. But once I do get them, I will be sitting down watching episode 1, because I've not seen episode 1 at all. I've only seen the little bit of footage that Scribbles to Screen used. But yeah, I do want to do a full review of episode 1 and 8. And yeah, I just want to talk about the series. I think the series deserves some love. Not many people know about it, not many people remember it. So I do want to talk about it. So yeah, so that is an update as to how you can watch episode 1 and episode 8 in their entirety. You have to buy these 2 compilation DVDs, which are available on eBay, Amazon. I don't know if they're available like in stores, like in HMV or anything like that. I suppose you could potentially order them like online, maybe from the HMV store. I'm not too sure, but I looked on Amazon and eBay, and they're both coming up. It does show on the front of the DVDs what's on them. So as long as it says Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, you know you've got the right one. So yeah, so I'm just going to show some coloured photos that have... I'm assuming these photos have been online for a while, but they're colorized. I want to show them. You know, I like I said, I think this series deserves some love. It doesn't get the love it deserves. And I do hope eventually, you know, if the audio exists for episode 7, they could do an animation potentially. I mean, that's what they're doing with Doctor Who at the moment, so who knows? And I'd love to see the episodes colorized if it's possible. I know colouring photos in is a lot easier than actually full episodes, but with today's technology, I do think it's doable. But nevertheless, I'm going to show you some more coloured photos that I have here. So all credit goes to those that own them, all credit goes to those who've colorized them. But yeah, I just want to show them off because it's history, and I love things like this. So I'll show you guys here the photos. So this is the first photo. So we have a still of all 4 of the Pevenses. So obviously Peter, Edmund, Susan and Lucy, fully colorized on the set. But yeah, it looks amazing. Obviously Susan's pointing at something there. The next one is a still. It looks like in the beaver's house. I believe that's one of the beavers. But yeah, you can see the other beaver there, and obviously Susan, Lucy and Peter. So this is presumably, I'm guessing, from one of the missing episodes. So again, I don't know if telesnaps exist, but there is like production photos that have surfaced in recent years. And then the final one is of Jadis and her dwarf Ginnabrick. Now, I don't know if he's called Ginnabrick in the 1967 version, but yeah, I mean, look at the witch's costume. Look at her crown. It looks amazing colorized, and presumably this is Edmund. But yeah, it looks amazing, these photos. I just wanted to show them off, because I do think this series deserves the love and deserves a bit of credit. So those are the photos. Yeah, if you go over, I'm presumably on Narnia Web, I'm pretty sure they've got a page dedicated to this particular adaptation, and I'm pretty sure they've got production stills on there, so you might be able to find some more. There is some more, like some black and white production photos and stuff on set as well, but I just wanted to show off the colorized ones. But yeah, like I said, I really wish that I could have seen this full adaptation, but if I can get episode 1 in the collection, you know, fully remastered, episode 8 fully remastered, I will be happy. So if or when I do ever get these 2 compilation DVDs, I will let you know, and I do plan to do a review of both episodes, because I do think there's something about it, you know, it's history. So yeah, I just thought I'd do an update to my last one. But yeah, did you ever watch the 1967 version? Let me know. I'd love to hear stories and comments of what it was like. Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.